in today's world, if somebody says, okay, just hold my bottle for a while, I'm back, you'll think twice before doing that. A simple, noble gesture of holding some stuff for someone. Because there's been a lot of foul plays, and we know it. We've been warned, we've been told not to easily trust anyone, especially in the airport while you're traveling, when strangers are there. And slowly and gradually, we start even forgetting to trust people around us. And of course, we forget to trust ourselves. And that's when we seriously need to open up to help. I mean, I understand not trusting the strangers, I understand not trusting the loved ones. However, if you stop trusting yourself as well, it gets difficult. So there are levels. The beginning happens with lack of trust in strangers, and then loved ones, and then ourselves, and then eventually God, and the whole mechanism. There are people who come and say, oh, I'm questioning the faith itself. I'm questioning if there's something like God ever, because had God been there, I wouldn't have suffered the way I suffered. And it's pretty disheartening to listen to this kind of conversation. And I know it would be such a painful and miserable time for people to go through this experience of not having faith or trust in anyone. By the way, faith is different than trust. Trust we generally put in lesser mortals, and faith we have in greater good. Trust can get shaken up very easily, but faith goes for a long time. If you fall down after having held somebody's hands, you may lose trust in the person who was supporting you. But the faith in the greater good may still remain, thinking that, okay, I fell down, probably that saved me from bigger calamities somewhere. And hence you carry on. However, when the faith gets shaken up, probably the life feels totally shaken up. And these are the worst moments of our lives. We all take the next breath, get on with the next day, take our next meal with some trust and some faith. When all that is gone, life can be as good as a hell. How does all these things begin? How do we gradually lose trust, or all of a sudden lose trust? The commonest examples would be, people saying that I was, especially in regression, they come up and say that my father did not want me because I was illegitimate child. And my father was conspiring to make sure that my mother dies, or at least she aborts. And the whole 9 months were like a nightmare because my mother had to hide herself to protect me and herself. Now, that can be the devastating beginning for an infant who can feel the threat, lack of trust in humanity, because mother couldn't trust anyone. What if I'm poisoned? What if somebody kills me now? So it was difficult for mother to trust anyone, including the medical fraternity. What if the doctor was bribed? And what if the nurse was bribed? And being born amidst such scenario would be, of course, the beginning of mistrust. It could be as benign as the an adult regressing as a child and saying, I trusted my mom to take care of me and be with me when I go to sleep. She promised that, but I could see that she had prepared her makeup kit and she had prepared her jewelry and different dress. And I was not sure whether she was about to go to sleep in the same bedroom. But when I woke up, she was nowhere to be found in the house. I was alone. And I realized I can't trust mom and her words. Now, it's a trivial story. You know, a lot of mothers say they say lies while going out to just prevent the child from crying. And what they don't realize is they could have prevented that temporary setback or a cry, but they've created a major setback in children's life because now children can't trust mother. And if they can't trust the mother, probably they find it difficult to trust anyone in life. It can be let down by a teacher, the best friend, siblings, father, close relatives, grandparents. It could be anyone at any age. One such incident, and you start doubting. When you start doubting, the doubt keeps getting extended to the bigger and bigger and bigger circle. And slowly you find it difficult to doubt anyone. And that's when probably you become so cautious, so anxious, so worried that nothing happens so easily. You'll evaluate, you'll weigh, you'll examine, you will check pros and cons and take every step, every decision. And in spite of being so careful, you'll still have people betraying you, cheating you, robbing you, letting you down, frauds. Everything can go on, reinforcing your primary existing belief. So the mechanism is one such incident, rather than mentally telling yourself that once upon a time I was cheated. What we do is we convince ourselves that people cheat, and we have to, because being cheated, being betrayed, being let down is not a very happy experience. So you want to avoid that. You want to prevent that kind of experience. So what you do is you kind of make a general rule. And when you do that, you you create a belief, and that belief you prove again and again and again. And the more you prove that belief, the more the belief gets endorsed, and the belief almost becomes truth for you. And reversal can get more and more difficult. If you're really aware that these are my beliefs being manifested, you perhaps would challenge your beliefs, address your beliefs, challenge the first perception, and slowly you'll be able to forgive people who betrayed you and cheated you. Karmically, we design such life plans to become independent, to become super intelligent, to remain cautious, to be on your own, be self-reliant. Because if people are really trustworthy, you would trust them to do everything for you, and you will never grow or become a different or more efficient person. And hence, we do invite betrayals and cheating. Karmically speaking, we also invite betrayal and cheating if you have a past life pre-programming of having cheated and betrayed people in your life. And you may invite cheating and betrayal if you are being out of integrity with your own life plan, with your higher consciousness. At some level, perhaps you promise that you'll be doing XYZ and you choose not to even look at it, not to even honor. So the external betrayal becomes just a reminder to make sure that you start being in integrity with your higher consciousness. Having said that, now you have an opportunity to reverse the betrayal patterns. The beginning shall happen by forgiving yourself for cheating or betraying others. Whatever others have made you feel, start affirming in a way to heal that part of you which felt guilty, because once you feel guilty that you've done this or you betrayed or cheated, you want to experience what is it to be on the other side. And that's how karma works. Now, probably you've never done that in your life, and you can be carrying the past life pre-programming. But it works in the same way for the subconscious mind, whether it's current life or past, because subconscious mind doesn't know past, present, or future. It's all happening in the now. So address your guilt of betraying, cheating, and breaking others' trust. Then work on your beliefs. Because we don't know whether you're believing because the trust has been broken, or the trust is being broken because you have a belief. Anyway, it won't take much time to recognize your belief and start challenging your beliefs. And slowly you will see the difference in the betrayal and cheating patterns, and slowly the trust may start getting restored. And third is, think of restoring the trust in yourself. Because if you truly trust yourself and if you truly have the faith, you don't have to worry, because even if others damage you, hurt you, let you down, cheat you, betray you, you will be able to stand up on your own and use some remedial measure to overcome, because it's much easier at times to overcome the betrayal rather than protecting yourself all the time from the possible betrayal. Because life can be miserable if you keep guarding yourself all the time from the possible betrayal. So even if the betrayal happens, it's fine. I know I can recover. So what if my all property, all that I have is taken away? I can rebuild. I've done that earlier. I can do it now. If that kind of confidence you have within yourself, you will not have to worry too much about the cheating and betrayal, letdown, and breach in the trust.